It started off a little bit slow. We had a technical difficulty. I hope that you'll bear with me. This is my first time being a moderator and new technology for me, although you may have heard my voice before. Welcome attendees, welcome everybody to our webinar. Today is the webinar on DAAD funding and scholarship programs, and I'm going to start off with just a little bit of a walkthrough regarding the technology of the webinar. It's going to be, the walkthrough is going to be about 5 minutes. Then we're going to do an overview of the DAAD funding opportunities, our presentation, introduce you to all of our programs, and then some specific scholarship programs. And then at the end, we're going to have a Q&A session. And so I think that that's actually one of the most useful things that I found in doing a lot of presentations is that you all have a lot of questions and answers, and we don't necessarily have them all in our heads. So you'll see the little chat box underneath there, or the questions box on your menus to the right or to the left, wherever you have it right now on your screen. And please type away, you know, whatever questions that you think of, go ahead and type in your questions, and at the end of the session we'll try to address them all. First of all, let me see. I'm having, okay, here we go. I'm having a little bit of a problem with my with my presentation today too. I'm so sorry about this. Anyhow, I'm going through the net. Okay. Anyhow, you know, you can see these things on the right. You're going to be able to see that there's the list of attendees and the list of staff names. You should be able to see our staff names there. My name is Jane Fu. I'm an information officer at the DAAD New York office. Also joining us today are Peter Carrigan, who is the Deputy Director and Marketing Director of DAAD New York, and responsible for marketing in the entire North America region for DAAD programs, as well as Julia Kraus, who is our current intern. She is a student of the University of Jena in American Studies, and I was going to tell you a little bit of what's currently going on at the university. You will see here that you can, mostly you have the 4 or 5 buttons, icons that you see to the left of the screen are ones that you can mostly, are the ones that you'll probably use most often, or would be most useful to you. From there, you can toggle the screen, so you can make, if you're working on something else and just want to listen in, you can minimize the screen or expand the screen to maybe better read it if you need. Also, you can mute the sound there. I'm afraid all of the attendees are muted, so we're not taking any heckling. No, actually, we're not taking any live speaker questions. We're just taking the questions via the typing in the little chat box at the bottom today. That's pretty much it. You can control everything else is fairly self-explanatory. There's audio there that you can control the volume on. And if you're joining us late, that's always a welcome as well. And I'm glad to see that we do have a couple people joining us in a little bit later. So that's that. So this is approximate. Oops, sorry about that. This is how it works. And let me see that. Let's see. You know what? Change percent. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, launch successful. Show my screen. Okay. I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to be starting our webinar. And I'm going to hand this over to Peter Carrigan, just to introduce you to DAAD.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Jane. Yes, my name is Peter Carrigan, and I'm the Deputy Director of DAAD's North American office. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with our setup, we have our headquarters here in New York, and that's where I'm based. But we also have a smaller office in San Francisco and an office in Toronto. I know we have people dialing in from both the U.S. and Canada, which is the area that we cover as well. It's just some questions that some of you may encounter regarding the slides in the presentation. We do get questions about whether or not we're going to share the slides. Yes, we can share it, and just to let you know that our colleague Esther is taping this for you, so we will have podcasts of this seminar available for you online. So let me just continue, and I'm not quite sure if the screen on the right is visible to you. We're taking care of that. But let me just get us launched and going to give you some content. Here's an outline of what we're going to cover today, and as you can see, there are a couple of topics, the first of which I just want to talk about DAAD and German higher education in general. Jane and I will talk you through the grants that we offer, and then also have some Q&A, and then of course allow enough time for Juliana, who's going to talk about the experience at a German university, so you can have a sense of what that entails. As Jane mentioned, we do encourage you to submit your questions at any time via the chat function on the webinar control panel, which Jane has described to you. And unfortunately, because of the large number of participants, we can't have you unmuted. It would just be somewhat chaotic. All right, so I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with us. As I mentioned briefly just a moment ago, New York is the site of our regional office for the U.S. and Canada. But DAD as an organization, we have two mandates, really, one of which is to represent German higher education and research around the world. Research is sort of a new component to all of that. And equally, if not more important probably for you, is also to represent and to market the scholarships and grants that we give out to facilitate not only a study or research project in Germany, but also some internship opportunities as well. Our funding comes at all levels, meaning from undergraduate through and including faculty. I know we have a mixture of people attending the webinar today, so we will point out some highlights for all of you. And all fields, all academic levels, all academic fields are eligible for most of our scholarships as well. And the length of the scholarship varies according to the length of the program to which you're applying. As you can see, we have healthy numbers to back us up in terms of our budget and our financing. But I think what's really interesting just to point out is how many people are supported annually by DAD. As you can see, there's 67,000 people are supported every year to go to and from Germany. We work bilaterally. That means, in our case, between Canada and Germany and the U.S. and Germany. And you can see the dimension of our outreach around the world, as well as, I think, equally important is the number of people that we support to go to Germany from the U.S. and Canada. It's just shy of 2,000 people. Here's just a map to show you the magnitude of our outreach, and that is, you can see where we have our regional offices and where we have our information centers. So just a couple of pointers for you, and I just want to, the Bologna process may be a familiar process to some of you and not to others. I really won't go into great length about what this means, but I think it's just important for your sake, because what it has happened is essentially it's opened up opportunities for all of you. And the outcome, just very briefly, it used to be that educational systems within Europe were not necessarily compatible. And that meant that a Norwegian coming to the U.S. or a Canadian going to Italy might not have had comparable degrees. And so what the Bologna process has done is created a unified educational system in Europe where the universities that have subscribed to this scheme are offering, much like you find in Canada and the U.S., a bachelor, a master, and a PhD. And what this means is that they it's much easier for you then to go to Germany and study if you're coming at the bachelor's level, the master's level, or in the context of a PhD. that mobility has been facilitated. Another direct result of the Bologna process in Germany and many other countries where English is not the native tongue is that there has been a proliferation of degree programs being taught in English. So that means, for those of you who are not German linguists in attendance, that you can conceivably do a master's in something like engineering in English. Without speaking any German, of course, we encourage people to learn German to sort of function a little more easily in everyday life. But